In an era where every second is optimized for streaming, where a song's fate is decided within the first 15 seconds, BTS chose to go in the opposite direction. Not with a soaring high note or an addictive drop, but with silence. A 1 minute 39-second stretch of near emptiness. Paradoxically, that very moment of non-music becomes the most powerful statement in ARIRANG, the album marking their return after nearly 4 years. When a comeback is no longer music, but a national strategy. BTS's return with Swim and ARIRANG is not simply a release, it is a multi-layered campaign where music, culture, and soft power are intricately interwoven. Choosing Gwanghwamun Square as the comeback stage says everything. This is not an ordinary performance venue, but a site tied to national history and authority, located right in front of Gyeongbokgung, a symbol of the Joseon dynasty. When a K-pop group is permitted to perform here, it signals a shift. They are no longer just artists, but representatives of national identity. At this point, BTS is no longer promoting music. They are operating as a cultural entity on a national scale. Swim, the globalized outer layer. The title track Swim, fully in English with an accessible pop structure, clearly targets the global market. But focusing solely on Swim risks missing the album's core. Because ARIRANG is not meant to be consumed track by track. It is a conceptual whole, where each song functions as a structural component. And at the center of that structure lies No.29. No.29, When Silence Becomes Content. Track 6, No.29, disrupts nearly every convention of modern pop. No beat, no clear melody, no climax. Just a single bell sound that rings, lingers, and dissolves into stillness. In an album filled with energy, inserting over a minute of almost nothing is a high-risk decision. Yet that risk creates a rupture in perception, forcing listeners to pause. This is no longer passive listening. It is spatial experience. The sound in No.29 is not merely heard, it is felt. It opens an acoustic depth, evoking the sensation of sinking into the ocean's abyss, serving as a seamless transition from a declarative hip-hop track into the introspective calm of Swim. One bell, 2,000 years of history. What elevates No.29 beyond music lies in the origin of its sound, the divine bell of King Seongdeok. This is not a simulated effect. It is the real resonance of a national treasure, cast during the unified Silla period. Its unique acoustic structure produces a deep, prolonged, almost mystical reverberation. In 1962, it was designated as National Treasure No.29, directly inspiring the track's title. Embedding a historical artifact, one that carries centuries of cultural weight, into mainstream pop is not just creative. It is transformative, turning heritage into lived experience. BTS and the concept of music as space. No.29 signals a significant evolution in BTS's production philosophy. Music is no longer confined to melody or lyrics. It becomes an architectural space where sound, silence, and emotion coexist. Within this structure, silence is not absence. It is material. BTS uses this material to create a moment of awakening within the album, pulling listeners out of passive consumption and forcing them to consciously engage with what they are hearing. ARIRANG, a coded cultural manifesto. From the opening track's resampling of the traditional ARIRANG melody, the album establishes a central axis, the connection between past and present. While Body to Body introduces this idea explicitly, No.29 operates on a deeper level, where heritage is no longer presented, but experienced. This is the breakthrough. BTS does not simply export Korean culture through storytelling. They make the world experience it. From pop group to cultural infrastructure. It is no coincidence that Korean media describes the ARIRANG campaign as a national-level initiative. With BTS imagery saturating Seoul, museum exhibitions dedicated to them, and massive crowds gathering at Gwanghwamun, one reality becomes clear. BTS is no longer content. They are infrastructure. This infrastructure runs on fandom, media, symbolism, and most importantly, the ability to transform something seemingly uncommercial, like an ancient bell, into a global experience. Conclusion: 1 minute 39 seconds that redefine pop. In an industry obsessed with speed and efficiency, BTS chose to slow down, not to weaken, but to deepen. No.29 is not just a track. It is a statement that pop can carry the depth of history, the weight of symbolism, and the force of culture. And with just 1 minute 39 seconds of near nothingness, BTS achieves what many artists spend entire careers chasing, transforming music into an unrepeatable experience, where the past resonates in the present, and echoes across the world.